All right, team, welcome to our weekly team member spotlight. I say this every week, but this week I really mean it. We've got a special edition here. The man from behind the camera, Caden Willard. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. It's always unique when I get to flip on the other side of the camera for sure.
Now I have to say, like, just to give everybody background, Caden has literally recorded, I mean, we're talking hundreds of sales huddles, webinar, UMortgage recruiting webinars, personal videos. I mean, like, I can't even put into words how much indexing this person has on UMortgage. Like, he is UMortgage. If Claude or ChatGPT were able to crack his mind, everything about UMortgage would be out there. So, you know, Caden, like, let's first start with, how did you get into production, producing? Was this always the plan? Was this always the vision?
I was very lucky because I had a lot of friends growing up, or especially like at the end of high school, which is, first of all, that's crazy that you have to pick your career at the end of high school. But I knew from like 7th grade, I was just like, I want to record stuff and make stuff. I was super athletic. I loved playing sports. That was like my go-to thing. So I would always pick up my camera and just like record people doing sports. Jackass came out, I'd be like, guys, we got to recreate it and like push it down the street in a shopping cart. So I was just like constantly recording. So when I got to time to pick my major, I like didn't even think twice. Well, actually I did. I was between physical therapy and video production, which is like very different, but like both of my interests. And I went with video production and I just like fell in love with it right away.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I went like all over. I did a bunch of different things. I did freelance work. I did like gig work. And I just was like, that instability is not for me. I need a little more like 9 to 5 in my life, which is funny because I'm an LO now, but that's a different story. And I just started doing different jobs, and they were more on the programming side. So I worked for Univision, which is like a giant television station. I did all their programming, but it was so manual and technical and like just very like XYZ black and white. And I kind of was like, I need some creativity in my life, and I had to switch it up. So that's basically how I came here. I've known Nicole since I was 18, 19, which is a long time ago, even though people are surprised by that. And I saw it pop up and I was like, this is your company, right? And she's like, you have to apply right now. And then I got here.
That's so funny because like Nicole was my original video person at AIM.
Yep.
And I remember when you were interviewing for the job, I was like so skeptical. I was so skeptical.
Can't trust Nicole's friends.
Well, it was more or less like I'd built, like, from starting with Nicole, like I had never done video production before.
Yeah.
And I was hard. Like, I mean, like Nicole went through some real trauma to get me to be where I was, like 100 takes, millions of takes to do everything. And like the idea of bringing somebody new into the mix was just like, I was like, there's no way I'm going to be this comfortable with this person. Like, it took me all this time to get this comfortable with Nicole. And Nicole's like, oh, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. And Caden's going to crush it. And the truth is, like, in a very short period of time, you made me forget about Nicole.
Sorry, Nicole.
Sorry, Nicole. But you were that good. You were that comfortable, and you like created a great environment for everybody. Like, I mean, recording content with somebody, I think, is an art. And in order to build that environment where you're comfortable is really, really important. So like, how do you think you've been able to do that in your time at UMortgage specifically?
I really think I am like an empath, and I'm really good at reading people, judging their emotions right away, and kind of knowing not to like fake it, but like how to like adapt myself to fit that scenario. And so you see people come in and they're like, they're going to struggle. It takes a lot of patience too, which like I did not have growing up. So I've learned that, but it's just knowing how to make someone feel comfortable. Maybe you ask a couple questions, or you have more small talk in the beginning, or, this person is like, I'm here to do a job. They come in and go, kind of like you. Like, you're like on it. Like, you know what you're doing and you get it done fast, same as Corey. But there's other people that I'm like, okay, we have to like work up to get to that spot.
Yeah.
We have to be patient. We have to push them to change things without making them feel like they did a bad job, even if maybe they did do a bad job. But you just have to kind of like walk that line of how do you help somebody get to that next step without doing too much that you're going to scare them and make them never want to do video again. Cause it is scary.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. I always tell people when they're like, I'm not comfortable in video, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I get it. Like, it is weird. You're talking to nobody. A lot of times if it's virtual, it's like, you're literally talking to yourself on the screen. Like, I get it. But it's the name of the game. You got to adapt. You got to learn how to do it.
It is the name of the game. And I think like since I started doing this video series, it has helped me like understand that again, because we've been through this, and like, you know, honestly, I think putting people in a situation that they didn't sign up for, but they have to do, you get to see how uncomfortable people are. So like when we do sales huddles, we're kind of hand selecting the best people at this. So it's like, they're always pretty comfortable at that point. But for this, you know, we've picked some people that were like, okay, or I really don't want to do this.
Right.
And then we get them in the seat and they're like, it's uncomfortable. But I think what I've learned, like Laura Brandeo said it to me one time. She's like, Anthony, like one time at our first AIM conference, you required me to be on this panel, and I'd never been on a panel before. And I called you the week before to cancel, and you were like, no, it's unacceptable. Your ass better be there.
Right.
She's like, that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because I did it, and it really made me want to do this more. For you being on this side of things, like how powerful is that to see people who you know are uncomfortable, but they pull together and they actually really get addicted to it?
It's honestly like incredible to watch, like the growth of some of the people who, from the first video I did with them, if they start, I mean, I've been here 5 years almost. So like if I did a video with them a couple years ago to today, it's like night and day. Not that I really did much about it, but I'm like, yeah, we got there, we did it. But it is weird. It's like, it's different. And it's definitely kind of speaks to like UMortgage as a whole, like pushing yourself to that next level, pushing yourself out of the comfort zone. It's never for something that we think you're going to fail at, or we think isn't going to help you. We're not going to make you do something you don't want to do. Like, it's not fun for us. Like, we don't, I mean, it is, because it's like something that's going to help them in the long run, but it's not like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's all for your benefit. And that's everything that we do here. Like, I started as a video guy, and I remember at one point I went to Corey and I was like, I think I can move up to like a senior digital media producer. I was like, what, I kind of had like a little pitch ready, a little whatever to get that role. And I'm not in that role. If you guys didn't notice, I am doing something completely different. I'm still doing my video work, but like when I talked to you and you're like, you're going to take over the sales huddles, I was like, what? Like me? Like, why? And I was not ready. I had full imposter syndrome. I was fully like, Anthony's off his rocker. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. But I embraced it and I pushed myself there, and they're going well. I think we've done, you said a couple hundred. I think we're like in the thousands now.
Yeah,
like, it's wild.
Cow.
And it always brings me back. Like, I was never a quote guy. And I don't know, being around you guys, like you for so long, there's my favorite quote by Billie Jean King is "Pressure is a privilege." And every time you push me to do something else, or Corey, and I'm like, that's not my, like, I don't know how to do that. Like, how am I going to succeed? I always think back to that, and it gets me there.
It's so true. And I think for me, like at a certain point, you know, it's probably not healthy, my relationship with pressure, but like sometimes it takes a lot of pressure to get me to perform at my highest level.
Right.
And I like to create situations. And again, this is not healthy because I could prevent a lot of these situations, but I personally like pressure. Like, it just brings out the best of me. And I've seen that with you as well. So as you've gone through this process and like, you know, as you said, video production guy, to now managing all of our programming, leading all of our programming, to the point of like, now you become a licensed LO. What has that journey been like for you? Like, what motivated you? What's inspired you? What brought this version of value to go from like, hey, I want to be a 9-to-5 guy, to, hey, now I'm working open houses every weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Flipping the script. I honestly, if I had to like pinpoint how I got there, I don't know. Like, it was all just a bunch of things that accumulated over the time I've been here. It's a lot to do with you and Corey and the people in my life that want me to push myself to the next level and try something new. It's all, as much of it's not related, like from one step to the other, it is all related. Like, it all comes back to the same things of just like, how can I grow, but how can I also help this entire company grow? Like, there's way more. Obviously, I want to succeed. I want to be successful. I think everybody does. But there's way more value in helping like everybody succeed and like
Yeah.
the whole company, and it impacts hundreds of people at this point. So how I got to be an LO was, again, I remember the exact moment. I don't know if you remember. We were at an event in Marlton or something.
Oh, yeah.
And we were just kind of talking before the event started, and we were trying out these new plays of the day with people and going back and forth about some ideas. And I was like, man, like this play is so easy. If LOs just did it, they would get to that next level, or they would get another contact. And I jokingly was like, man, like I should be an LO with all this stuff. And you were like, ha ha ha. And the next morning, it was like 6 a.m. I woke up, I signed you up for Broker X classes like the next day. And I was like, all right, I guess we're doing it. But it paid off because maybe I'm biased, but I feel like the content we're putting out, the programming we're putting out is way more dialed in. I think I was looking at it from such like a shiny object view before of what's like the next best thing. When I realized now that I'm in it, it's like, it really is the basics. Like you have to nail down how you do this. Even if you're a top producer, you've been in the business for 10 years. Have you really, like, is your process just doing what you did 10 years ago? Or are you adapting to the new ways you can make sure you step up to the next level? So it all kind of relates. I, again, don't really know how I got here to be an LO, but I like it. I'm closing my 5th deal this month. So we're getting there. It's slowly building up for sure.
Well, I think one of the things that you just said reminds me of something Corey said when we did a podcast with her. Is she talked about like this concept of like doing, and a lot of people do. It's like, hey, I got this instruction to do it, so I'm doing it. And they're doing it from the lens of like, I have to get this done.
Right.
They're not doing it from a lens of like, I'm looking to learn through this experience. I'm looking to master this. I'm looking to reimagine, the way that this is getting done. I'm looking to put my signature on this. And I think what really stands out to me about like, your process is like, you've really done that with the sales huddles. Like you've put your signature on it. It is so much better than where we were 18 months ago, a year ago, whenever. But not only that, it's like, it's not about just like the quality of the production. It's about the product and the impact it's making on the people. It's like right now, if somebody joins a sales huddle, they're fundamentally learning, like they are getting better. Before we used to throw a lot of, stuff at people and it was too much. It was high velocity and just like just big picture stuff. So like now in the seat of a loan officer, and you're wearing 2 hats, you're working on building your loan officer business, but you're also still leading the sales huddle and internal programming. For you, how has being a loan officer changed your lens? Like when you go through things, like, are you like capturing the content and sitting there saying, man, I'm applying that, like, that's good. How are you thinking about things?
I mean, in that aspect, it's kind of great because I'm required to go to every sales huddle because I'm hosting them or leading them. So I'm getting all of this knowledge all the time to help my business. But I think the more impactful part for me is I always meet with the speakers before they present. I always just like, even if it's like, you've done this is your jam, like I still want to meet with you, make sure you know what you're talking about, make sure it's in a good format that's going to help people. And in those conversations, I learn so much because I'm getting these top producers one-on-one for 30 minutes, breaking down their process in detail to me. And I'm asking questions, not only to make the presentation better, but to learn myself. So I think just having that access to these top producers, which we all do have, like regardless of me doing this for the sales huddles, I could pick up the phone and call 10 of the top producers like in the country right now, and they'll answer and they'll take the time with me. So I think having that role where I'm trying to teach people, but also learning is invaluable because I'm seeing what actually needs to be learned and what actually needs to be taught to people. So I've been very lucky to be in this role. I think I'm benefiting from both sides of it. Absolutely.
What stands out to you about the people that are successful and also like the people that have the will to want to share, like the people that are the best sharers as well?
So the people who are the best sharers are definitely people who are actively doing it. There's a lot of people who I've seen come on these and share a strategy or share something, and then they're like, but I haven't done this in 2 years. So I'm like, oh, then like, why did you think like, I get why you could teach on it, but It's definitely better when you're actively doing it and like actively tweaking. That's why some of our top teachers are the NXT team, because they're teaching these scriptings. But if you've attended a PAPCAR script or daily sales huddle a year ago and you attended the one we did last month, they're not completely different, but they're pretty different because they're constantly adapting, constantly tweaking and making it better, which I think is also something which is valuable in the speakers that we present or pick. Is they don't settle. Like, they're keeping their processes growing and adapting with time. So I think that's the best for the speakers. The people who succeed the most are the people who do it. Like, there's like a few people that come to mind that maybe they aren't the best on the phone, or they don't have, not the best personality, but like the relationship focused personality. And even with that, if they do the things we're asking them to do, we're suggesting them to do, the plays of the day, they're attending the sales huddles, they're using tempo, they're succeeding. If you look from last year to this year, maybe they didn't do any business, but they had a streak for 100 days. Now they're doing a bunch of business. So I think there's a lot of, I can't do this because of this, or I don't want to do this because that's not how I want to run my business. Well, did you try it? Did you see actually if you don't want to do that before you just decide? And when people actually try, again, going back to like pushing out of the comfort zone, that's where I think you see people really succeed.
Yeah, I think I've seen. I mean, since we've really built tempo, it's been kind of like clarifying of what the realities of the world are. Is like, I can see, like, before it was just like, you were kind of going off your gut. Like, you would talk to people and people would be like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And now it's like, you can really see who's doing it. And the data is so powerful because, if somebody does it for a week, that's not good data. But if somebody does it for a year, I can think of a couple of people right now where they're consistently tracking their activities, and where they're at this early in their career. If they can keep doing the things that they're doing, that they've been doing consistently, if they can keep the consistency for another 2 years, they're going to be a top producer in the industry. And a year ago, they were at zero, like brand new to the industry, and you just don't know if they're going to make it. So I think, for me, like, that's the biggest challenge, is like, people are like, well, tracking your activities is hard. It's like, everything's hard. Yep. Everything's hard. Like every single thing in life is hard because we are feelers. Like, we all feel, and we feel like doing this extra activity is hard, and that's what makes it hard. But like, to your point, it's like, at a certain point, you just got to get over it. For you, how's that been? You're doing, I see you're doing the open houses every weekend. You've got a big, event coming up, baby coming up. So that's going to challenge you in another way. So how has it been balancing your primary job, being a loan officer, and also personal life events?
So I do have to acknowledge, like, when I tell people the setup that I have, I'm an LO, like, I work full-time for the company. Even like sometimes I'll get like recruiting calls and I'll be like, I work full-time for this company, like a corporate job. And they're like, okay, no worries, bye. Like, it's like, I understand I'm in a privileged position to be able to do both at the same time. And it kind of works out fairly nicely, because if you think of like LO life, when you're out at open houses, when you're talking to borrowers, it's usually after hours. It's usually at night after they're done work, or open houses on the weekend. So I'm able to easily balance that part of it. And if I have something pop up, you guys are very flexible and let me deal with that. The harder part, I'm sure every LO or every person can deal with, is the personal with the business, especially with like weekends and stuff. So I'm very intentional of like 8 to 9 o'clock is like, that's like my time with my wife. I'm sure it's going to adjust when we have a baby and there's going to need more time, but I'm very much like, hey, like, if I come home and I have to do so, I'm so sorry. Like, the next like hour or two, like, I'll be in the office in our house, but like after at 8 o'clock, like, we're watching The Crown right now. We're going to watch this movie, or we're going to do this thing. So I'm very intentional with that. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervous when a baby comes around, how I'm going to balance all that. But we'll definitely figure out a way to make it work. And I think another thing with the open houses and like going out and doing it, and it's a little off topic, but not really, is Corey and I set up this sales dev group that we're doing, and it's all about open houses. And that started because we just talked in the kitchen one day, and I was just like, this scripting that we've been suggesting for a while, from forever ago, like, I don't really like it. Like, I use something else. And then we talked back and forth, and we're like, let's try this. So I was like, oh, I'm going to try it this weekend. I'll let you know. Came back, told her how it went. And then all of a sudden we made a whole playbook really just for me, I guess. And then it turned to this cohort, and it's like this thing that I'm seeing people grow at. But I think being able to have that structure in place allows you to manage your days so much better, because I know, like, if I follow this playbook of this open house thing, I'm really only spending, I'm pretty efficient at it now. I can bang out 4 open houses in 2 hours if they're close to each other. So I could do that 2 days on Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday I make my hour calls, and that's like at least like 8 realtors that I just connected to that week. So I'm able to balance it that way because I have that structure where I just like know Monday time block, Saturday, Sunday, those 2 hours, and then the rest of the time is my normal job and like any files that pop up.
Yeah. Well, I think they, like, that prime example is like what you and Corey did, what started as an idea and turned into a playbook, which turned into a cohort.
Right.
I think like that's kind of what we've been focused on, is like, hey, if this benefits one person, can it benefit everybody? That's how we start with the sales huddles.
Yep.
That's how, we drive, our internal sales playbooks and coaching and all those things. And I think what I've seen with the cohort is just like, everybody needs, that's like create strong communities. Everybody needs some level of like, accountability, some feedback,
right,
and a combination of also just a little bit of like being in an environment where they could be like, is anybody else feeling like they don't want to do this today? And we all do.
Right.
Like, that's a normal thing, but it's also having the conversation is what turns it into, all right, we're going to do it together and we're going to overcome our, issue today.
And it's such a long game, as we all know. Some of you might forget if you've been LO for a while. It's rough in the beginning.
Rough.
So it's with this cohort, you're doing these open houses. We're pushing you to go out, and it doesn't pay off right away. Like, just like, if it does, great. But that's kind of a unicorn situation. Like, it is the long game. So I think we hit a lot of people. Like, I've been doing this for 3 weeks. I haven't gotten a lead. Like, that's just not how it's going to work. So I think just like teaching that part of it, of patience and taking the time, because like the deals I'm closing right now, they all came from realtors that I met at a Popeye open house when I first started doing this last September, I think it was. So like almost a year ago. So I think people really need to not give up on things so quickly, because I see that a lot too.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going, like, this is my new business plan. I'm doing X, Y, and Z for 1 week and seeing how it works. Like, that's not really how, like, you got to stick to it. You got to try it out. You got to go through the bumps. You got to adjust. And again, with this group, that's why it's great, because people will be like, hey, I ran into this situation. Me and Corey and all the other leaders are like, okay, let's like regroup after this meeting and like make some scripting for that. And like, I, being the LO now, can actually test it out in real time, which that also is like a huge value add, because it's so easy to be like, say this when you go into an open house. And if you're not doing it, you're like, that sounds great. But when you're doing it, you're like, oh, like, that's not how this is going to work. Like, some agents, especially in Jersey, some of these agents are like, they don't have the time for you. So you got to learn how to adjust. So I think having me out there, and we have Kim in the group and Nick in the group that are going out and actually testing these in real time and adjusting in real time is super helpful for people.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think part of like, and also the process we're going through is like, the whole goal is like, let's learn and master it in the group.
Mm-hmm.
Let's build the playbook that's proven,
right?
Like, not just like, I think in the past it's like, oh, this is suggested and we think it'll work. It's like, you guys are doing it, and there's a big group that's doing it. And, over time, it's like, if we get enough at bats and we see the results consistently, then we open it up for everybody.
Yep.
And that's how we have our plays of the day. That's how we have our sales huddles. That's how we drive coaching. But I think the difference between in the past and now is like, we're finally at a point where it's like, hey, cohort, new LOs coming to our company, we're putting them in the cohort. Yep. So they're basically getting a 12-week crash course of like our sales plays, tempo, our 12-week yearbook, how to create goals and how to create accountability. Yep. And then after the 12 weeks that they're in that cohort, our goal is like, hey, join the coaching program. So for 6 months, you're getting coached, you're getting accountability, you're getting structure. And then after that, we, obviously it's all suggested, but, between the 12-week initially in the cohort and 6 months of coaching, it's like 9 months, you're probably going to develop some really good habits. You're probably going to have some really good sales processes. And hopefully the outcomes have caught up to the effort at that point where you're really doing, some meaningful business and you feel good about your career. Have you seen that in your experience with the cohorts?
Yeah, I mean, again, like it's a long game, so people have to stick it out and try it. But when the people who, again, back to the doers, the people who did it and committed and stuck with it, like they're seeing the success pay off now. You have to be willing to put in that work, and not only that, stay consistent with that work, and it will get you to that next level for sure.
Yeah. So I got 2 questions before we wrap up.
Yep.
First question.
Can I guess?
Well,
can I guess? I've done enough of them. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
What's your favorite story from your time here at UMortgage?
Ooh, there's a lot. There's a lot of really good ones. Back to like having all the video. I just want to put this out. I do have a lot of blackmail on a lot of people. So like, but that's not my favorite story. There's a couple events that really stand out to me. When we went down to Palm Beach and did that event, Elevate to Dominate, I think it was called. That was just a great time. The speakers was great. The content was great. We had Barry Habib there. Like it was an awesome event, but really just spending time together as the team and outside of work. And we did talk about like just all of it, just the experience of being in like a really cool spot with some really cool people and talking about business was awesome. I mean, I could talk about every single event we did where like people come to town. I just have so much fun hanging out with everybody and talking to them. But that was one of like the earlier events I went to, and it just stands out for me every time.
Nice. And obviously, this question is, what is your favorite core value and why?
Could have known it. I always, from the day I started, love to get better every day. And everyone's like, oh, that's the cop-out answer. But like, I genuinely love that one because it pushes you to get better. It pushes you to try something new, pushes you out of your comfort zone. However, since I became an LO, it's kind of switched a little bit to one, relationships, not transactions. So people keep telling me when they're giving me coaching or advice, these LOs, they're like, you're such a relationship guy. And I was like, oh, like I didn't know that about myself. Like I just thought I don't know. I never thought about it. And then ever since people said that to me, when I'm talking to borrowers or agents, I realized like I really lean into that part of it. Like I really lean into making them feel comfortable, making them happy with the decisions, educating them, but also having fun. So I think really leaning in on the relationship side of it, the transactions will follow. But if you focus on that, that's where it's at.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. And I think my thoughts on like all the core values at this point is like every single day I have a different situation where it's like, all right, this is own the moment. Like right now I have to own the moment and get this done and get it across the finish line, or relationships, not transactions. And again, going back to the hardness of it, it's like, sometimes it's easy to be transactional. Sometimes it's easy to be like, oh, I got to get out of the office, or I got to beat traffic or whatever. So, I want this call to be short. But I think if you can actually live those core values as a loan officer and in our business, I think like there's endless possibilities of what you could do with your personal and professional goals. So guys, this has been an incredible weekly team member spotlight, bringing the man behind the camera out front for everybody. I know I speak for all of you. We are incredibly grateful for Caden and everything he does to help UMortgage be special. And thank you for watching this session. Have a great day.